Good morning, stampers and crafters. Welcome to Tina's Crafty Ink Spot. I'm Tina, and it's Technique Tuesday time. I'm so excited today. I just went to a big convention. Stampin' Up has a convention called On Stage. Thousands of demonstrators gathering in different areas around the United States and abroad, and uh, there's nothing better than to get a whole. I mean, you can't even imagine the talent in one room. Just was amazing. So, what they did go over is the new mini catalog starting in January. I can't show you the inside, and celebration time. If you've been with Stampin' very long, you know our celebration time is really awesome. Every $50 you spend, you get to pick a free item. You're gonna love them. We got a sneak peek at them, and it's going to be fabulous. So you won't want to miss it. Now this starting January 3rd. You'll be able to start ordering. If you're a demonstrator, you will be able to start ordering next month in December. So if you wanna get ahead of the crowd, might want to think of getting a hold of me and signing up. If anything, just for the discount. But anyway, so I was real excited about that. I had a really great weekend, and since it was my birthday weekend, it was just a bonus. So I came back and I'm trying to put together a technique, and I have one that I haven't done in a long time, but I really like it because it is so versatile. It is called the herringbone technique. And you are using little strips of paper to create this herringbone design. So your DSP, you have some extra designer paper that they're little, you don't know what to do with them. You can create a really fun and elegant card doing this technique. So today we're going to create this one, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. I like the greens, and I was trying to come up with some thank you cards for some people. So I thought, well, I really like it that it could be masculine, it could be feminine. Imagine what you could do if you used holiday paper on this. Just there's a lot of things you can do, and it's very simple. It's fun to do. So we're gonna jump right in. So I took a few sheets of it, and since we're two-sided, we're going to end up with several different designs to use to coordinate through our project. So what you want to do is we're going to bring in our cutter, and you want to cut your strips. Now you can cut your strips anywhere from, I'd say, a 1/4 inch to maybe in 3/8. I mean, I wouldn't want to go much larger than that because I think you'd lose the design technique. So we're just gonna cut some 1/4 inch pieces here. Just put them in our trimmer and cut some 1/4 inch strips. I will go ahead and cut these. I'll fast forward for you so you don't have to sit and watch me cut 10 strips. So I'll fast forward for you through this. So there we go. We have cut up just some strips. I would do, depending on how many cards you're going to do, I do usually 3 to 5 strips because you're going to use both the designs on both sides. If you have single-sided paper, you can do that too with this. And now I'm just going to separate my piles into the different strips. And that way we can kind of be in order. Make sure I kind of mixed them up there, didn't I? There's that one. Here is this one. So now you need a 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4 piece of plain cardstock. And what you want to do to that is you want to add to it a double-sided adhesive. So if you have Sizzix permanent adhesive sheets, you can use those. Or if you have two-sided adhesive tape, you can cover your sheet with that. Or if you have one of those Xyron machines, you can use that. So we're just going to use the double-sided Sizzix tape sheets here. I'm going to, and I cut it a little bit larger than my piece of paper because you want your adhesive to go all the way to the edges. So I'm just going to put this on here. And then take a bone folder, burnish it really well into your double-sided adhesive. And I'm just going to trim my excess off. Can you guys hear my little dog woofing? My dogs have issues with closed doors. They just don't like the rejection. So she's sitting at my craft room door woofing at me. She doesn't like the door closed. If you're really good with your adhesive sheets to getting them just right onto your sheet, you can miss this step of having to trim your excess off, but I'm not very good at it. I usually get it on there crooked, and so this is fine. So now we're going to turn it over and burnish it really well. Make sure our adhesive is on there. And now remove our protective sheet. And now you have an adhesive covered sheet here. So now you want to start off with taking, I usually take one of my darker strips, one of the darkest strips I think seems to work easier for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of our dark strips and I'm going to put it, I'm going to go the right direction here. I'm going to put it at an angle across our sheet. And then I want to take the same piece, and now you know why you have to kind of sort these into the sections that they are, or the stripes that you had. So now I want to take another piece of the same color, and I'm just going to create a T here, anywhere on it. And start with your flat edge, and then go out to the outside. And then we'll just trim that off a little bit. I leave excess around it because we're going to trim those off later. And then I'm going to put another T, just butt it up right up against your piece there, and then trim it off. Okay, so now we've got a scrap of that. And now you're going to pick a triangle and you're going to start from there. And all you're going to do is take and alternate the different colors of designer's paper you have. Let me get mine sorted out here a little bit better. Okay, there's that one. Okay. So I kind of sort them so I can stay in sequence of what I'm doing. And I've got them all mixed up. All right. So I'm going to take this first one, and you're going to take your flat cut and butt it up against that first one and lay it down right along the other one. And then you can trim it. And with the straight edge again, go the opposite direction in the same triangle. Okay. So I'll put that back in my pile, and now I want to do another color. So I'm going to take my flat edge, and I think I want to use this design on this side. I kind of like to, if I start on this one side, I kind of like to stay starting on that side. And make sure your cut is straight, and then lay it right along the edge there. And then if you want, since the back side's another design, you can do your flat edge again. Gotta get my straight edge here. And you just keep alternating that way, changing your different paper designs. So let's pick this one. And make sure you start with a straight edge. A straight squared edge, I guess, is the better terminology for that. And then we want to change to another color. I think this would be really pretty done with holiday papers. I'll have to make one. Trim that off. And then you only have a little space there, so you can still put any alternate one you have. Do we have any other colors we haven't used? Let's go ahead and put this in there. That's the same one, isn't it? Let's use our little scrap here. I didn't have my edge straight. There you go. Now you do the exact same thing on all your triangles. So I will fast forward through this so you're not watching me slowly do this. go. Whoops, my little tiny piece here. I've got a little tiny square right there and no adhesive. So I'm going to tap a little adhesive in there. There, you have your design. And this is what you come up with. Now we're just going to flip it over and get the adhesive off my scissors. Let's flip it over and just trim it off even. Make sure you use some adhesive to put on any edges that didn't adhere. I usually save trimming these to the end. That's why I don't cut them off flush when I'm making it. For some reason, it's easier that way. You make sure you've got all your edges. Okay, there. Now we have our sheet. Clean off our mess here. And now what I did is I took the thank you die and I cut it out twice, and we're going to layer it together just to give it some thickness and dimension. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive on here. And then I'm going to layer them together. I like using glue for this because I can kind of move it, or I have a couple seconds to move it and try to square it up. I always have trouble at the end of the words. You don't have to do this step, it's just kind of, I just kind of like how it's a little bit thicker. And now we're going to glue it down to a piece of white. Just going to put it on the white. And I'm just going to, not really fussy cut, but just kind of give it a white background. So I'm just kind of going to trim around it. When you're doing this, kind of rounded corners look good. And there we go. We have a little matted thank you. And I'm going to glue that directly down to my piece. Just going to center it here on our project. add it to our white card base, A2 card base. Your favorite adhesive, glue, tape, or you could even pop it up if you wanted to with dimensionals. But I'm going to go straight down. And then we're just going to bring in a couple little bling here. So let's put one there. Maybe a little one there. There. Oops, and we have a runner. A little guy took off. And just a couple little pieces of bling, and there you go. Isn't that neat? I love how the designs go. You could do the same color if you wanted, like each triangle to be a different color, like all solid cardstock or all the same design in each one. There's a million different things you can do with this. It's really relatively quick and it's elegant. I like it. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I will have all the supplies and the PDF instructions below on the video. I hope you enjoyed today's technique, herringbone technique. Thank you. Have a happy stamping day. Bye-bye now.